You are already the kind of guy that's made a big contribution to the world, but you're playing around with this fraternity thing too. You can't get it out of your system. What gives?
Well, fraternity is a lifetime experience, and that it's not just words. That's really how SigEp has entered and stays in my life. And I often think back of the day in 1966 when I joined the fraternity, and what an important decision I made. It was our rush chairman at UT named Tom Hicks said, "You'll never regret going SigEp." And as a freshman, I made that decision, and Tom and so many of the older folks in our chapter in Austin helped develop me as a leader. And if I had to look back and say what has given me some of the skills and I hope talents that I've contributed to our community in Dallas, and it's the kind of thinking and skills and development that our chapter brothers in Austin helped me with for 4 years and let me serve and keep positions in the fraternity, encouraged me to go out on campus and fill student government positions. I could never have achieved the kind of success, and I hope I've been successful in the things that I've done, without that training and development, leadership, and the role models I saw at the University of Texas at Austin. I happened to be invited into a culture of excellence, a culture that was successful, of successful people, and they showed you and showed how they expected you to succeed. And I mean, it was simple things like making introductions to the key people, but helping me know who the key people were, helping me learn how to present myself, how to dress, and every chance there was for somebody at SigEp to go serve, they asked me to do it, and they gave me their support, and the brothers were always behind me, and I could always count on it. And there was another organization at UT that compared to what we did and how we did it. You know, that's an excellent it's an excellent question, and it's a challenging one to answer because we had a lot of good fraternity chapters at UT. I mean, there were some other ones that weren't so good, but our competition was good. But SigEp had a broad reach into the high schools in Texas, and really went in and recruited not just a certain type of young man, not just the athlete or not just the academic, but I'd like to think we were the forerunners of looking for the balanced man. And when you walked into the chapter, you found a friendly organization of caring guys that were genuine, who could communicate that special brotherhood that SigEp has that, quite frankly, wasn't duplicated anywhere else at the University of Texas. And I spent 3 months in Rush that summer. I went to everybody's event. I got to know them all well. I was really looking hard because I didn't know exactly what to do. But I think back on it, the first fraternity that was on my doorstep after I graduated from high school was SigEp. They're organized, they're smart, and they have great men, and they came into my home and they talked to my parents. And my parents said, "Those are nice young men." My ability to look at and tackle a program, my drive to see it succeed was all formulated when I was at the University of Texas, because that was the culture I was put into, and that's what got into my blood, because that's the way we did everything in Austin, and that's the way I've done everything since, and it's carried on through my life, and it will as long as I've got the energy to stay involved. I'm going to be involved, whether it's at Sigma Phi Epsilon, which I've had an uninterrupted probably 50 years of service, or the many other organizations that I'm involved in the city of Dallas. it's exactly what I was doing at the University of Texas. I was involved in every organization trying to provide leadership, trying to provide answers to the problems of the day.
You know,
I still involve myself in recruitment efforts in any chapter that invites me to participate. And I go out to SMU, I go up to North Texas, I try to get over to TCU every year and share that message to prospective members. And I love to go before prospective members who are trying to make a decision whether to join a fraternity and then which one to join. And I try to talk about why SigEp is the place you want to be and the kind of relationship you can have with an extraordinary fraternity for the rest of your life. And I think fraternity today is probably more important for the reasons you just articulated, because there's so many distractions, so many things, and yet I think those strong, close personal relationships are critical to success in people's lives, and that's what fraternity can provide. People can go off and entertain themselves, and you can stay on the internet, and you can do the video games, and you can do all that, but you're going to miss a dimension in your life that you're going to look back on and say, I wish I had done that. I wish I had those 30 and 40 close friends who are my brothers now that I'm 60 years old or 65. I mean, I cherish every relationship that I made at the University of Texas, and these fraternities afforded me the opportunity to meet brothers across this country when I served on the board and as grand president. And I've got more brothers outside my home chapter than I do at the University of Texas. And that's the way it should be. That's the great strength of our fraternity. We got to be the largest fraternity in America today because of our unique brotherhood and the brotherly love we have for each other. And I just never have seen that duplicated in any other organization, certainly in other Greek organization. And there's some fine fraternities. I've got great friends in other fraternities, and I will always support them. And if some young man wants to join another group, I urge him to do so if that's the right one for him, because a fraternal experience can be important in a man's life. We provide the best fraternal experience, and if a man gets the opportunity to do it, he should seize it and give it all he's got. You know, that's a wonderful question, and so many things are so meaningful to me because I've spent so many years in the fraternity and have had the opportunity to serve in just about every capacity on every committee that supports every cause. I have really continued to champion the cardinal principles in everything that I talk about, and I do talk about being a balanced man and what that can be, but I always go back to the fundamental underpinnings of our fraternity that were founded on virtue, diligence, and brotherly love. And I think if a man embraces those fully in his life, then he's going to have a successful life. He's going to be successful in business, and I hope be successful in his family life, in his marriage, and in his community. Because what SigEp does today, I believe better than anybody else, is we're putting out young leaders who are principle-centered leaders, who have principles centered around virtue, diligence, and brotherly love. And if there's one thing this country needs, are strong young leaders for tomorrow. Because with the right people working together for the right answers, we can solve those problems. But we need to create better, more leaders to go out into our communities and serve in government. And SigEp is, I think, the top organization of building young leaders in the country today.